Hello guys, Eneno here, former Challenger ADC coach, and I will help you understand why you're not able to carry your own games by playing Miss Fortune in low elo. Today we'll talk about a few mistakes that I see every Miss Fortune player do, and how you can actually eventually fix them, and what are the most important things to keep in mind when playing Miss Fortune. The most important thing is to go for these runes. You can even copy paste them, it's not really important, and the itemization, we're gonna talk about it during the game. Outside of that, I heavily advise you to either ban Braum or Yasuo, especially low elo, because those two champions are heavily played in your skill level and they counter really hard your champion. That being said, let's start the video. Alright, here we are into the game. The first thing we're gonna do, and be careful about not making a mistake on this, is to go Doran's Blade. Do never go for attack speed or lethal tempo. First strike is actually the easiest build you can ever play, and it scales so much better. That's the first mistake that I see. People going press attack, going lethal tempo. You wanna go for strike, Doran Blade. It's the most consistent item as well for Miss Fortune, because you get more sustain, especially from the Omnivamp. So do not pick anything else really, you don't need it. Focus on this item specifically. Another mistake I see is people not starting E. You will start E as soon as the game starts and simply press it on the enemy, just like I did. In this way, you're getting the first strike proc, the mana flow proc, and you're getting 10 gold and the mana flow proc, which is another 25 mana. Since MF has a lot of mana problems, it is really good to actually start stacking your E right away, and also your first strike. Some laning phases such as scaling Karma, or even worse, they start out and you don't have the chance of actually clicking the enemies with your Q. So in that case, it's so much better to actually start here, if that makes sense. So from here, we are gonna do some tiny trading here and there. Doesn't really matter. But as you can see, if you proc first strike at the start and you go for E, first of all, you're gonna get more mana, especially the next base, which again, mana with Miss Fortune is really important, so try to stack your E as much as you can, like just spam it and get some value out of it. Apparently we don't know where they are, they probably looked for a ward on the Tribush, we're guessing, and as you can see here, another cast of E, another first strike proc, that's like 30 gold just by like proccing our E. It's quite expensive mana-wise, so do not spam it completely, but every time you see that you have both mana flow and first strike, it is really good to do that. This laning phase is a bit annoying, but let's say that in reality we have the upper end, especially when the enemy jungler is gonna, like our jungler is gonna come bot lane. We look for a Q on the low minion there. And you see, like, I know a lot of people love to play MF in low elo, and I just wanted to make this video so that people, you know, they can play the champ that they love, which is MF. I think it's a really strong champion, and many students of mine just improved a lot by having all these tips that I'm giving to you guys, which, again, they are ultra consistent and they help you out a lot on getting the most value by playing really few. And here we look for an auto. That's still really good anyways. Just walk away. Nice. Like, even trading a bit heavily in this lane is not that bad, because we have a 3 versus 3 happening in case. We don't know if Nasus is gonna be bot lane as well, but we like to be both at low HP when we know that our jungler is bot lane, right? Both of us. So that we're gonna do a 3 versus 3. No one knows what is gonna happen. This is gonna be quite interesting. So this guy looks for me. We got some good damage on him. Once again, this is gonna be interesting now, because both champs are low, like both lanes are low. But we know that the jungler is bot lane, so now we gotta see what the Kindred does. Still keeping a low lane, like I'm not pushing it hard. Why? Because our Kindred is here. So we can bait with barrier. The guy has cleanse as well. So we gotta be really careful here, and the Nautilus should be the one dying here. As you can see, just a tiny example of it. We managed to get the pick off. And apparently the enemy jungler probably was topside, because we didn't see him, yeah, right? Here we push this wave. Try to get the push off. Usually you would love to crush your wave. It's just like a general mistake. It's not really related to Miss Fortune, but as you can see, I mean, you don't really enjoy keeping this wave here. So possibly try to push it, knowing that the Nasus is on the opposite side of the map, because both junglers have a different pathing in this context. It is really easy to push this wave, but I wouldn't do it in the other case, let's say. Is to go out, and then the wave is sort of crashed, I will say. Probably the guy could drag it out. They didn't. Okay, that's awesome. Alright, we base, and guess what we pick, right? We have 1k gold. Of course, we go for Dirk. Now, this build is one of the easiest, one of the loveliest. I just enjoy this build so much, especially when you smurf. Or like when you're low elo and you don't really know how to play the game. You go Habris. Then we go Axiomark. And that's the build that I love to do. I already made a video about it. You can go check it. I will put it here on the cards, where you can see the whole build, how it works and why it works. But simply put, if you want to stay in this video and just like keep watching, we have the first strike. We have a lot of gold by that. We have a lot of gold by cashback. We have a lot of gold, basically, for whatever we do. And of course, also, our items do snowball a lot. Now, if you guys remember, now Nasus went for an opposite pathing. So he was topside, he based, and now he's coming back to bot lane. This being said, I gotta respect a bit more, okay? So you gotta understand the jungle pathing. The enemy Nasus is here, somewhere here. Now, Nasus is not that strong of a character, engage-wise, but Nasus is, but Nautilus is so much better. And so you wanna respect it, you wanna simply stay here and wait, and respect the fact that our jungler is playing topside. I'm not doing anything crazy, as you can see. Proccing first strike as well here. Just remember to do it sometimes, because again, the best and the most consistent way of proccing your mana flow is by using your E. And as you can see, we basically almost fully stacked that. By fully stacking it, you're gonna restore more mana, and that's eventually what you want at the second base around, so that you can spam more consistently. Okay, here we finished the mana flow proc, so now we have more consistent mana per second, without actually having to go Presence of Mind. That's really, really good. Now, we wait for the Kindred Pathing, you see? Kindred Pathing coming towards bot lane, while Nasus is gonna be topside again by the time Kindred comes back to bot. I hope this makes sense to you guys. Like, I don't think it's that hard. But if you're not following, guys, let me know down in the comments, and I will try to make it even easier. I mean, sooner or later, surely. Alright, we hold this wave here, knowing that Nasus could still be going for Drake. Technically, he should go for these Raptors here on the upside. But we're not sure as long as we don't see anything, right? We have no informations. And Kindred is going in a bit of a scary position. Yeah, exactly. This is not really what we want. I will ping to not fight, but let's see what the Kindred does. More than anything, I wouldn't play from there. I will play from here. Right, they are dropping Drake, I believe, which is fine. The guy is the stack here, so it's a bit of a problem. He probably will try to fight. Now, let's see what happens. I probably want to play from here. Let's see what the guy does. A bit of a weird situation. We enter the position decently. The guy is 1 HP, he has to flash out. And when you have Kindred, it's always like this, man. It's a, it's a full monkey fighting, going right and left. Now, the wave wasn't the best, so I wouldn't go too hard on that. You see, my wave was kind of like stacking up in the meanwhile. But luckily, the fight kind of popped off as fast as we needed to. So, luckily, we didn't lose too much. And now we're gonna shove this wave and base. Again, we played for the jungler. Nasus decided to stay bot lane for the Drake, as you guys understood, as you saw. He tried to, like, start Drake. I don't know why. I mean, probably it was better to just go Raptors. But, you know, we're playing in gold, we're playing in platinum, whatever it is, so... A lot of mistakes can happen, and that doesn't mean that... you always gotta be ready for everything, in general. So that being said, my jungler tried to steal these Raptors rightfully because the enemy Nasus didn't take them. Enemy team defended and they took the shutdown. Now we take another piece of item and we come back to bot side. Now, this build is just like lovely, really. Once you reach Dirk and Warhammer, you will have 5 statistics. And Jack of all trades will give you a tiny boost of AD at the start during the laning phase. This is really, really cool. On top of that, we have Gathering Storm for the late game. Cashback when you buy the first item. Usually, another mistake that I see is that people buy shoes with Misfortune. I would heavily incentivize everyone to rush Abris first. So you buy first item, because after you close the first item, you're gonna get cashback proc. That's another mistake that I see so many people do. You have cashback, so you wanna close your first item and then buy the 300 gold boots. As Misfortune, you have a lot of movement speed anyways. You have your W. It's so much movement speed anyways, so you don't necessarily need to... You don't necessarily need boots at all, especially if you have a matchup where they don't have grabs or stuff like that. In this context, they are a bit useful because of the Nautilus. But again, we're gonna buy only the 300 gold ones. I wouldn't spend too much gold on that, especially the lower you are. Just like, take the normal boots and mostly utilize your W to get back to lane. As you can see, we have like 60 movement speed more because of that. And here we're simply proccing our first strike every time we T in such a matchup where we can't really proc it by engaging. You're just getting a really good chunk of gold just by doing that. And even later on, you're gonna get so much more. You can see that we already made 200 gold just by using first strike. Like, and we are at minute 8, so it's a really good sum of golds. And now we're gonna push this one. Now, we don't know where the Nasus is. I kind of lost the track a bit of him. So we're gonna simply push this wave and call the Leona to like go mid lane if she wishes. As I'm gonna base. You see, I just like did some tiny pings where I tell her, go, go, go. I don't care about that, right? I hope they don't chase me. Alright, we base. And this guy goes mid lane. Guys, I hope you're enjoying the educational content. If you do, make sure to leave a like, leave a comment, whatever you want. And I hope this content is actually helping out people everywhere in the world. Just like, really, make sure to do something about it, because my god, we are doing crazy content in these days. As you can see, we got Abris, we got boots, and now you see I bought the boots with the cashback proc, so I didn't actually spend money for nothing in a certain way. And from here we can go Action Arcanist, sorry, so Action Arcanist is the rune. I usually like to go crit a bit later into the game rather than Collector now. You can also do Collector here if you wish, but I like a lot Action Arc. It just feels really good, especially in low elo where your ultimate damage is, you know, the highest damage you can do most of the times. Sadly, my ultimate was a bit off. But as you can see, my Kindred was ready for it, and so... Boop! Stun, flash, kill. Nice. My Kindred takes the kills. They played in a really bad position, sadly. I even missed my ult, honestly, so that was... It was quite a bad fight anyways, but we managed to do what we needed to. And you see, sometimes it's not even like about playing the champion. Sometimes it's just like about playing the right league. And the right league simply means not making any mistake. And the enemy usually making mistakes, if that makes sense. Alright, we're gonna base the guy. I already did this. We could have looked for this plate, but keep in mind that we were a bit late. Okay, so that's another mistake of like low elo ADCs. I tend to see it so many times. We just like run down the lane just for one plate and then they die. It's really, really sad. I would rather lose one plate. It's not gonna change too much. You know what I'm saying? So just do not go too deep. And then your team was probably basing, like, if you saw, Kindred was doing Drake, my Leona based. If I go for another plate, I'm overextending compared to what my team is doing. Because Kindred after Drake will base, and Leona was already base. So it was really easy for me to get picked off for, you know, anything can happen in League, like a teleport, something like that. That's another mistake. Not really related to MF again, but like something that you guys can surely do every single time into the game. So be really careful when it happens. Now, usually Tristana sits in this bush, so you can use your E. And exactly, this is what happens. She looks for this type of trade on you, which eventually played out really well. Actually, she did way more damage than what I expected. But we still have cookies. Everything is going fine. Make sure to eat your cookies when you have this build. A bit fast, like not fast as fuck, but like as fast as you can, because in the end they give you more HP, and you're gonna have like 100 HP more when you have them. So I wouldn't keep them for the whole game. I'm just saying. Alright, so we push this one. And from here we probably base again. Why are we basing here? Because I don't know the position of Nasus. Okay, now we know it, but I still don't wanna really push this out. Especially because the guy, you know, the guy just like looked for... Then I look for a base as well. I feel like Tristana based as well, so she probably has item. You see, she did that. She based together with me, so in a certain way I wanna match it, because now I have item advantage again. Imagine that if I didn't base, I would have had Habris plus one item, and she will have had one item. But in reality, I'm in an advantage, right? Both from a goal perspective and stuff like that. So you gotta be really careful here. We can ult, so she's forced to W outs. I wouldn't keep your ultimate too much. That's another mistake that I see on Miss Fortune players. If you need ultimate, just throw it. Like, really. Don't keep it the whole game. This ultimate has an insane value. And you can basically chunk the enemy 12 HP before the game even starts. And then just like play the fight with already half HP difference. That's more than enough. You don't need the perfect angle with ultimate, if that makes sense. You simply need the right context, and it's like some good damage, right? In the context I had no Leona, I was solo. It made so much more sense to just simply throw it out there and get some damage off, right? Now Nasus is probably bot lane because he based, if you guys remember, he was topside, he based, and now he's probably coming bot lane. The enemy Tristana based again. And now Kindred is bot lane though, so we can avoid basing. We can get some plates now. That's not an overextension if we call Kindred to come bot lane in a few. Tristana's gonna have an item advantage again, tiny item advantage, or she's gonna be near to my same items. But here we take full tower almost, like it's really near to that. Okay, she bought full boots. But now we have Kindred here again. And she's also invading, right? If he's invading, you kind of like wanna stay bot lane as well. Now, fighting this right away might be hard, but I wanna help, possibly. Let's see. Really good Kindred ults. This guy's really tanky. I don't think I will kill him, so better to just like fold and go back. This invade is usually not that great. I mean, Kindred was ahead, he tried. I didn't have ult Sally for like 3 seconds, literally. But that's still fine, like it was a really good fight anyways. So what do you do here as Miss Fortune? Guess what? You press your ultimate button. And now we base. So again, she's gonna lose another wave. I'm playing 99% theory, guys, so that you can see that even without mechanics as ADC, most of the times, you can get a really good game off by simply following the rules of a League of Legends game, right? That's more educational than this, I don't know what to tell you. Like, I'm playing it and I'm 006, literally 006. Just like my support. We have a shutdown anyways, that's crazy. Of course, Riot Games shutdowns, I don't understand them. Anyway. Almost 2 items. I love Axiom Arcanist because, again, it gives me more ultimate power. This guy is looking for me. Just W away, you press W again. Tristana is a bit annoying as a matchup. She will try to jump on you most of the times, and if she lucky crits, she can do a lot of damage. Be really careful, especially when you're on the 1v1. Or like she could play Bash and stuff like that. Technically speaking, it's never a problem unless she's like diving you. Because Tristana players, they are pushing naturally towards you the wave. So the only way that they're gonna kill you is mostly by diving you under tower. Which solo lane it's really hard to actually do. They can still do that if they are ahead, but in this context they aren't. Like the guy isn't. So we're gonna E again, check if the Bash is here. He could also do it from the upside. So I want to mention that, right? We're gonna play a bit slower just to make sure that she's not choosing out with this guy here. Now I'm gonna walk for this cannon, you see? She based. We have the confirmation here. Which simply put means that no one is on the back. And now, be really careful again, respect. My team is playing Drake, but it's gonna be hard for me to enter from here. So we're gonna enter from the back. Because I have no vision. If Leona actually put vision here, I would have done it. I prefer doing it from the back. So in case anything happens, we don't make any mistake. Leona's looking for an engage. Now, I'm not an ultra fan of this play. And of course, the guy just ults me. So I can't even ult. We take the kill anyways. That works. Take the tower. Awesome. Still works. It's just like works, you know. When it works, it works. We had the top laner, so make it have sense. Now, I'm gonna base because we wanna play for Heralds. My Kindred is going for a really deep play, so technically I shouldn't base. Okay, guys, I shouldn't base here, but you know what? We're making a video, we're gonna base. We're making a video, we don't care about that, we're gonna base anyways. Magnar is going crazy, everyone is doing fine. Kindred played really well despite everything, and we kind of helped him like moving towards the jungle in this game. Now, what do? We are mid lane, guys. What do? We take mid tower, okay? As Miss Fortune, you try to take mid tower, and you could play for the objectives now. The most important thing when it comes to Miss Fortune mid game is keep your ultimate a bit more, because of course you wanna have a good team fight. Like you don't love ulting mid. Holy fuck! I misplayed ultra hard here. I think I'm fine anyways. Oh my god! I mean, if they help me, I'm dead. No one is watching me. Okay, that was my bad though. Holy fuck! That's actually really bad. Don't worry, guys. I mean, it's still fine. This happens. It's like a huge mistake of mine. I didn't really notice the guy, honestly, and my team didn't really help either. I guess the Kindred could have stopped the objective, but that's fine, you know, it happens. Don't bother. Really, Nasus is such a strong champion, man. Nasus just like Ws you, and you can't do anything about it. It's actually crazy. Alright, from here. It's fine, we made a mistake, right? From here, I shouldn't have died. The mistake that I did was simple, like my team started Herald, but they didn't cover mid lane. So here, in reality, you should probably either wait for them to push mid lane first, and then you take the wave, or you go Herald with them. It's a mistake that happens, really. Like, you don't know. I coached so many people in Lowell as well. I always blame them for this mistake. But guess what happens when I make the videos? Fuck, man, I do it as well. I mean, I'm talking too much, you know, when you yap too much. And that's just like what happens. It just happens and you can't do much about it. And again, we push this wave now. Now we have Leona, so we're way more covered, if that makes sense. And so we can play a bit more like this. It's gonna steal me that. Okay, that's fine. We take the plants, whatever. We have some mana here. And now, looking for any play, really. I mean, we're not that behind either. Our team is doing quite fine. Just be really careful on when to pull the trigger. Usually I watch out for a lot of information, such as... holy fuck, that's too much. If they look for a stun here, that's another kill for us. Oh, yes. Alright, good kill. You see the damage from like 0.7 is still insanely high. So you don't necessarily need like 5,000 kills to carry with this champion. You can even get like 2 or 3. Get some assist for the Abris as well. And that's gonna be more than enough to actually carry your own games. Holy. I got the shutdown off. We can E-ult here to take some time. Here's the Garen. He has no ultimate though. That's what we know. So we can kill him off. Guy died. Ah, this. Oh my god, I took everything in the face. That was a really good ultimate, so we got really lucky. Now, you might wonder, how do you sustain with this build? Because you have no sustain. Well, there's the healing boots. So this build buys healing boots whenever you want. You actually buy them whenever you want. So if you don't need them, like there's a some poke on the enemy team, in this case it's the Malzahar. I don't necessarily need it, it's the only player actually doing it. So as long as this guy is not going 10-0, 20-0, or heavily playing against me every single time I play a fight, I'm not gonna go healing boots. I'm just gonna close items still, because closing items gives me more cashback procs. That's another mistake, right? Do not close boots way too early, because you're delaying your cashback procs, if that makes sense. Like, you want to have as much gold as possible. I just want you to notice how much gold we gathered with 2 runes. We have 400 gold here almost of Burst Strike, and 460 gold of cashback. Just imagine a game where you're like fighting way more. In 20 minutes we just got 800 gold of value, which is almost 2 kills if you think about it, which is crazy, no? So the guy flashed on us again. No, man. This is crazy. This was a bit expensive again. I don't think this is necessarily too good, but the guy's playing well. Like, I'm gonna be honest with you. It was a really good grab. But still, I'm gonna be honest with you, the execution is not that good. You know why? Because first of all, the Drake is not ready yet, so this pick-off just does not mean much. And of course, my team can play the afterfights, and then we can play easily for the next Drake, which is eventually the timer that we care about. Like, this play is not something that you truly care about. Like, the most important play here is this one at Drake or the one at Nash, which they don't get anyways, but with what they did, if you understand what I'm saying. So, like, there's, like, in League of Legends, there are, like, some bad mistakes and, like, some good mistakes. I will call a good mistake something where, like, if you die, you don't lose anything anyways. For example, oh, I died. I didn't lose anything, for example, a wave or something like that. I got a wave already, I didn't die. And in the meanwhile, my team is still gathering everything that they needed to. A really bad death is, for example, when the enemy team gets an objective because you died and you made a really deep mistake just by, like, walking down the lane. But when they are forced and there's not an objective or stuff like that, it's not that important. Just to put you in perspective, no? Here I could push this wave topside, and if they kill me and they do Nash, or this is a huge mistake. Like, that's just like a for you to make you understand. And as you can see, my team, Kindred, Gnar, Leona, they are all late. So stop doing this fucking mistake. Like, don't go here, push like an idiot, and then lose the game there. Those mistakes are a problem. The mistakes that I'm doing, guys, are really light. Like, they aren't really important, and you're always gonna climb if you do these tiny mistakes. Again, major mistakes are the main issue of, like, ADC players not actually climbing. So, for example, splitting like an idiot, not watching where your team is. If you just play by the book, 99% of the time, you're gonna be fine. And some deaths are kind of inevitable, or your enemy team is gonna hard force. Usually, I will say that arguably... Oh my god, this guy is always jumping on me. He's quite annoyed by me. Alright, we collect him. We can ult him. Oh my god, I wanted the collector kill. That was quite unfortunate. And from here, we take this tower. Nice. Oh, careful. Sooner or later, I'll have to buy some lifesteal. Some tiny lifesteal actually helps in this game. Again, not ultra lifesteal, but a bit. I collect him? Oh, I thought I was about to collect him with my E. That would have been crazy. Alright, we take this tower, and now we base and prepare for Nash. We got 3 Drakes, our support never died, our jungler is doing wonderful. It's just, like, so easy sometimes, right? We just don't notice that, and that's about it. Usually here I prefer going non-quiver if I prefer auto damage, while if I prefer ultimate damage or, like, Q damage, I prefer Last Whisper. That's a tiny difference. It is entirely up to you which one you prefer. More crit tends to deal also more ultimate damage, but I do believe that armor penetration just works wonderfully for ultimate, way more than crit. So again, it is better to go crit if you want to do auto Q auto, and you luckily crit twice, that's gonna one-shot someone. But if you simply want more ultimate damage, you're gonna go for the other piece before buying the full item. That's another mistake that I see, like people going crit when they don't wanna auto. In this game, I can still auto a lot, so I just prefer crit in general, me as a person. But you can go, again, armor penetration if you don't feel like you're really good at kiting, if that makes sense. Like, if I think about me back in the time and how bad I was at ADC, I will always play ultimate damage because it's the easiest way of actually dealing damage. The enemy team got a shut down. They took off my first strike with the Nasus thing. She's still fine. And here, what do you want to do as MF, right? Well, what do you guys want to do? You simply want to ult. As easy as that. They look for the engage, you press E on ultimate, and you try to melt whoever goes in front of you. Yeah, really front to back fights. Okay, the guy dies. Be careful on the E, be careful on the Malzahar coming from the upside or downside. I think from the upside. It's from the upside. Usually we're not shredding them too much. I will say that Lord Dominic is quite needed here. They have a lot of HP. So the more HP they have, the more you need a Lord Dominic as fast as you can. And even here, Infinity Edge, more of an auto-attack item. So I prefer actually going Lord Dominic for this game. You could even go Infinity Edge with 50% crit. I'm just like not a huge fan of it. I feel like a champion like Miss Fortune, which has more spells, more stuff like that, tends to love having more armor penetration right away. So that's why we're doing this. Now, there's Drake in 1 minute. I wouldn't overextend for this wave. I also will ping my team to not fight now because we have Drake in 1 minute. You simply communicate your idea to your team as well. We don't have much gold, so we're gonna go healing boots, sadly. We'll have loved to close Last Whisper here. But again, we're doing wonderful, right? It's a 3-2-9 game. Made a few mistakes here and there. Just, again, it doesn't really matter. Just play the right way, play a good macro, get some CS. And do not make a random shit mistake. Like, that's the most important thing. Okay, let's play slow. I don't want to ult yet, because this is not the main fight. The main fight becomes if they are forced right now. Which they do. And now I can ult. I ulted a bit late, but that's fine. Flank from the Garen. I think he's quite cooked. Holy fuck, he just came and exploded. And here we got Drake, guys. Like, we got the Drake. We probably got the Nash as well. And they just FF'd. Alright, from here, what we will have done? We will have done Drake and Nashor. Close the game mid lane, pretty much, just by ulting mid lane.